crazy fight this weekend with Anthony Pettis and Stephen Thompson. I don't think a lot of people thought that the fight was going to end in that fashion, in that way. Even the people that might have picked Anthony Pettis to win, which were the minority. Stephen Thompson was a pretty big favorite. I don't think they could have thought that Anthony Pettis was going to win like that, by knockout, by comeback knockout like that. It was such a crazy fight, such a crazy victory, but one of those that, as a fan, so glad that I got to witness and see. Anthony Pettis has something in him, and he's always had skill, he's always had heart, he's always had a lot of factors that made him a great fighter, but the one skill set that shined through during that fight was the X factor that he has. He has the X factor, man. A lot of guys have heart, and sometimes they're too tough for their own good. They can take a beating and they keep on coming, but they're not really finding a resolution to this problem, not really making adjustments. Anthony Pettis has heart. He's shown that before. He's very, very tough. He's also a very skilled fighter. But in this fight, make no mistake, he was losing this fight. He was getting beaten up. He was getting outskilled by the bigger, rangier fighter. Stephen Thompson, this was a tough one for Anthony Pettis to get by. I mean, Stephen Thompson, even at guys that are bigger than him, he makes it so tough on guys because of the way that he fights. He fights so long. He uses that front leg lead side kick to keep his guys at bay, to chip away at your body, to knock the breath out of you constantly. And then when you start looking at that, he starts popping you with the hands, switching stances, setting up his blitzes. He was doing just that. He was starting to land a lot of that side kick to the body on Anthony. You can see Anthony starting to breathe harder. And then starting to land in the hands. Obviously, Anthony Pettis started bleeding through the nose sometime in the first or second round. And I remember watching this fight thinking, at the end of the second round, right before the finish occurred, God, Anthony has got to be thinking, how am I going to keep this up for 5 rounds? Because he was having to work tremendously hard to get inside on Stephen Thompson. He was doing some good work landing to the legs, but he was having to work very hard to get those leg shots. And Stephen Thompson was returning fire on those leg shots as well. He was landing now and then upstairs on Stephen, but Stephen was landing much, much more on Anthony Pettis, and it was starting to wear on him. I could see him start to breathe hard. He was in a lot of trouble, man, and he was breathing hard, but he found a way to make shit happen, man, and that's what he has. He has that X factor in him, where he has the ability to make adjustments, adapt to situations, and capitalize on them. And that's something that is very rare to have all of those to be a complete fighter, to have the skill set, the mental toughness, the physical capability to compete with the elite in the world, and then the X factor to make adjustments during fights against bigger guys when you're losing the fight and knock out a man like Stephen Thompson, who has never been knocked out in his career. 80 plus kickboxing fights, 10 to 20 plus professional MMA fights. He's been knocked down by Tyron Woodley, one of the harder hitters in the welterweight division, and yet the 55er coming up to welterweight Showtime Pettis with a really kind of an arm punch from the Superman. It was a Superman hook off the cage. I think the momentum of coming off of the cage amplified the punching power a lot more, but really when you looked at it, it wasn't a tremendous amount of hip rotation as much. It was the arm hooking through, the momentum of the cage kind of propelling him towards Stephen Thompson, getting enough power on it to not hit him on the chin, put him away. He had some really precise follow-up punches. Stephen was already out. His head had bounced off the canvas. Just beautiful work by Anthony Pettis, man, and that's what makes him an elite fighter, win or lose, somebody that's always exciting to watch. And if he wasn't already someone that was on the list to get into the UFC Hall of Fame, I think this performance right here definitely 100% put him on that list to be somebody as a future guaranteed Hall of Famer. And let me just say one thing about my friend Stephen Thompson. The man always fights and handles himself with class and dignity, and you cannot show more positivity than he did at handling this loss. It's a tough thing to handle a loss, to swallow that pill and to be positive after. Most fighters take about a day or two to kind of mourn this loss, get it out their system, and then move on. For him to go to the hospital like that and make that video that he did, put that out there, and kind of have a lighthearted sense about it, it just shows what a positive, forward-thinking guy that he is. And what it does is the positivity like that pushes away the negativity from the haters that might have then wanted to get on him about, is his chin questionable, or does he still have it, or he's not an elite guy anymore. Showing that positivity gets rid of a lot of those guys right there that are going to say negative things about you, because he showed that act of positivity. So congratulations to him. He's got another bright future. Congratulations to my man Anthony Showtime Pettis on a beautiful comeback victory. More Unguarded coming your way, guys. Check it out.